You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello, you're listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, and it's emergency podcast time. In fact, the last emergency podcast was quite a while ago now, and at the time I did actually record 3 emergency podcasts, and it's got this kind of weird... There's a comedian I like called Richard Herring, and he does a podcast called Richard Herring's Leicester Square Theatre Podcast, and within that podcast he asks what he calls emergency questions, and he did an app a little while ago, and I've basically been using that app and getting some of the random questions from that and trying to answer them on here, but they are quite obscene, and so I did actually record after the last one of these. I did do 2 more emergency podcasts, and I kind of said, it's really embarrassing, but I've decided whatever the question is, I'm going to answer it. And then I did. And now I feel I can't put it out because it's too horrible to contemplate. I'll give you an example. One of the answers I gave was Toblerone. Now, if you can try and think what is the most repulsive question that Toblerone could be an answer to, you've pretty much got it. So instead, I've got another random question generator on the internet here. Oh, I did have. Let's see if I can find it. Right, it says, create a random question. What is the best part of your day? That depends on many things. So if I'm working, it's when I've finished, not because I don't like my job, I do, but I sometimes do very, very long flights. In fact, it's not even when I finish, it's when I get home, because I'm an hour and a half away from where I work. So if I'm working, it's when I finish and I've got home successfully. And other days, it just depends on what I've done that day. I don't consistently have one part of the day that I think is better than any other. What is the biggest priority in your life right now? Sorting out my head because it's broken. What did you have for lunch yesterday? Oh, I was a bit naughty yesterday. So I went to a little coffee shop in my hometown, and I just had a treacle tart, and I'd had breakfast. It was toast, and I had a proper meal in the evening. But for lunch, I had the treacle tart and then didn't feel I should sort of stuff my face with anything else. But it was rather nice, treacle tart and a skinny latte from memory. But there you go. Right, another question. If you could be any celebrity, who would it be? That's interesting as well, because there's different reasons for wanting to be a celebrity, isn't there? So if you wanted to be famous and or do you want to be rich? What is it you want out of being a celebrity? What would I want out of being a celebrity? I think money would be good, but also to have the authority, if that's the right word, to speak out about topics I'm passionate about, and to know that if you're a celebrity, as long as you're not one with a really bad reputation for being thick, that people would listen to what you say on that topic. If you knew you only had 24 hours left to live, what would you do? I'd probably get very miserable and waste it worrying about what was going to happen in 24 hours' time, because who was the last person that you called or texted? It was a friend of mine in the States. I'm not going to say who because I don't like naming names on here. What's better, having high expectations or having low expectations? I think having low expectations, because you're disappointed less regularly. So if you go into everything with a high expectation and the whatever it is doesn't meet that expectation, then you're going to spend a lot of your time disappointed. Whereas if you go in with low expectations, you probably get accused of being a bit miserable before you go into something, but afterwards you'll enjoy it because it will have exceeded your expectations. So I think that's better. Having said that, you would be called an optimist if you had high expectations, if you go around saying you think everything's going to be brilliant. But there you go. These are very interesting, and I haven't had to think about anywhere I might put a chocolate bar. Right, if you could choose your last meal, what would it be? If I could choose my last meal, so what food do I really, really like, I suppose that's asking. That's a really difficult one. I don't know. Something I don't know. There's so many foods I like. Again, it would depend where I was and what I was thinking about at the time. It depends where I committed the crime that was getting me executed. What things are you passionate about? Mental health, mainly because I think I suffer from every now and then exceedingly poor mental health. Not great at the moment. I'm passionate about fairness. I absolutely loathe people who attack other people online and call them names, and there's no kindness anymore, and especially when it's online and the person that you're interacting with and probably being horrible to is it's just a faceless person on the other end of another keyboard, on the end of a modem or a fibre optic cable or whatever. Yeah, and I just don't see the need to taunt people, or I just don't get why people can't be kind. I've found on Reddit, I found this lovely page called Random Acts of Cards, and people ask for cards either for themselves or for other people. And I sent my first one last week before, and I want to do more of that. Right, I'm going to do one more, and then that'll be it for today. What's in your fridge? I have got not very much at the moment, actually. I need to do some shopping. I've got some jam and marmalade. I've got some milk. I've got some dairy spread. It's not margarine, but it's I haven't got any fruit at the moment, which is very unusual for me. I normally have fruit in there. I haven't got any alcohol in there because I don't drink. I haven't got any zero alcohol pretend drinks because I've just not been in the mood. Yeah, not much else. I think I've got some condiments. I've got some like pickle, and I think I've got some pickled onions and pickled beetroot. But no, that's a very good point. I do need to go shopping. Right, well, that was bloody fascinating, wasn't it? Note to self, choose different random topic generator on the internet for the next one of these that you do. Take care. Hopefully I'll be feeling a little bit better and feel able to talk about writing or whatever I actually did today, tomorrow, if that makes sense. Take care. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Wright, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.